This is Jennifer with ADHD in the Family, bringing you a quick episode of Natural Living with Science, where we take a natural living or traditional practice and see if science supports its use. Today we'll be covering hand washing, specifically the water temperatures needed for sanitation, foaming hand soap versus liquid or bar soap, and hand sanitizer. Let's get started. While historians are unable to ascertain who first invented soap, we do know that it has a long and varied history. The earliest evidence comes from around 2800 BCE in Babylon, with the first recorded evidence coming from a Sumerian clay tablet dating to around 2500 BCE. The Chinese have used a detergent form of soap for centuries, though ointments and creams were preferred for personal use, and soft soaps didn't become common until the modern era. Similarly, due to its harshness, the Romans reserved soap for clothing, and general cleaning with oils and a scraping tool was used on their skin until a gentler form of soap was introduced to them by the Gauls in 58 BCE, with Germanic soap being highly favored by the 2nd century CE. Our hard soap was introduced in the Middle East during the Islamic Golden Age, beginning around the 8th century, and by the 13th century, its manufacture and export had become a significant part of the area's cottage industries. Soap use expanded across Europe, and by the 16th century, France and Italy had become known for their finely manufactured soap. Little is known about soap use in the Americas before the arrival of European settlers, but we do know indigenous tribes produced similar substances that contained ingredients such as yucca root, also known as soapweed. Settlers in the 1600s brought more modern soap-making recipes with them, and the adaptation and use of these spread quickly. Industrially manufactured bar soap became available in the late 18th century, which, along with the abolition of England's soap tax and advertising campaigns in Europe and the Americas, extolling its role in cleanliness and health, helped lead to its current widespread use. The first known evidence of soap's use in regards to medicine comes from the Ebers Papyrus, a famous Egyptian treatise on medicinal remedies and practices from around 1550 BCE. With the Roman Greek physician Galen prescribing its use in washing away impurities from the body and clothes in the 2nd century BCE. From there we can fast forward to the mid-1840s, when a Hungarian doctor named Ignaz Semmelweis began investigating the reasons behind the disparities between maternal death in the physician-run maternity ward and the midwife-run maternity ward at Vienna General Hospital. His insistence that doctors clean their hands with chlorinated lime after autopsies quickly led to a drop in the hospital's maternal mortality rate. By the early 20th century, germ theory had become widely accepted, and hand washing is now known as one of the best ways of preventing the spread of disease. While there can be no question about the importance of hand washing in preventing infection, what does the science say is the most effective manner in which to do so? Let's start with water temperature. According to a 2017 Rutgers study, quantifying the effect of water temperature, soap volume, lather time, and antimicrobial soap as a factor in the removal of Escherichia coli ATCC 11229 from hands, hot water is not needed. 10 seconds of hand scrubbing and rinsing under running water, regardless of the temperature, will wash away most bacteria, with 20 seconds being the most beneficial. For those who insist hot water is needed to kill bacteria, the study also notes that it takes 5 minutes at 149 degrees to kill 99.99% of bacteria on our hands, and 20 minutes at 150 degrees to kill all harmful bacteria, but only 3 seconds of skin exposure to 140-degree water to cause serious burns. While water temperature may not matter, the type of soap used does. Both a 2016 thesis, Comparative Efficacy of Foaming and Non-Foaming Hand Soap and Reduction of Microorganisms in Hand Washing, and a 2017 study, Foam Soap is Not as Effective as Liquid Soap in Eliminating Hand Microbial Flora, compared foaming soap with hand soap and found that foam soap removes significantly less bacteria than liquid or hand soap. Foaming soap is pre-lathered, which reduces the scrubbing action used and provides less soap per usage. It allows companies to sell less product for around the same price and forces buyers to utilize more to achieve the same results as liquid or bar soap, leading to more frequent purchases. It's a win for manufacturers, but clearly a loss for consumers. Next, antibacterial soap. There are numerous studies covering antibacterial soap, but we'll narrow that down and reference the most recent two: consumer antibacterial soaps, effective or just risky, and effective hand washing on child health, a randomized controlled trial. The first study found that antibacterial soap is no more effective at reducing bacterial levels than regular soap, or at reducing disease incidence on a community level, has potential for contamination of public water sources, and could lead to effects on the environment and animals, and does not directly affect microbial taxonomic richness, but may lead to changes in some microbial communities. The second found that hand washing was extremely effective at preventing the two main syndromes that lead to the largest number of childhood deaths globally, which are diarrhea and lower respiratory infections, but that antibacterial soap was no more effective at doing so than regular hand soap. Now finally, hand sanitizer. In Show Me the Science, When and How to Use Hand Sanitizer in Community Settings, the CDC references several studies that found that outside of a clinical setting, hand sanitizers are not as effective, especially when hands are visibly dirty or greasy, and are completely ineffective at removing dangerous chemicals such as heavy metals and pesticides. And then, of course, we can refer back to consumer antibacterial soaps, effective or just risky, which notes the potential for environmental and microbial harm that can be caused by the heavy use of antibacterial products. So, final conclusion: while hand washing is important and should be done frequently as a daily part of your hygiene routine, hot water is not necessary, foam soap is less effective than either bar or liquid soap, and antibacterial soap and hand sanitizer are not only no more effective than regular soap, they are less effective in assisting in cleanliness in some instances, and also carry the possibility of causing environmental damage, and have the potential to make negative changes to microbial communities. So that concludes today's episode. If you have any questions or comments, we would love to hear them, and be sure to let us know if you have a topic you would like to see us cover. For a copy of the transcript and links to the research papers referenced, be sure to visit our website at adhdinthefamily.com. You can also view other episodes of Natural Living with Science on the Tube, the Face app, or our website, and podcast lovers can listen to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify.